What is up, my people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me. If you are a new viewer, welcome to my channel. And if you are a returning viewer, you're awesome. Today we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about meal prep. So it's something that I've been planning to do. I have a specific goal that I want to achieve by the end of this year, by my birthday actually. And I know that to take it up a level, I need to make sure that my meal prep is done, that it's done, period. Because it is something that I haven't been doing, and even though I've been eating healthier meals, I am not planning my meals as I would like to. So I have a guest, her name is Candice, and she's going to be speaking to me about how she does her meal prep. I've done some research myself. I have a Pinterest board packed with ideas, recipes, hacks that I can try out myself, but I thought, let me find out from someone who's actually doing it herself. And the goals for this episode is to make sure that I understand how to lose, there's that stubborn fat that just doesn't want to go away. I want to work on that. I'm happy with my curves. I love being a curvy girl, but I want to reduce the fat, the stubborn fat that I have. I had 2 kids, 2 Caesars, and my stomach area is the lower belly has been really stubborn. So that is what I want to focus on. Then also making sure that my kids get nutritional meals, because it's important as it is for me, it's important for them. And also number 3, I just want to understand how to save time. So I've heard of micros and macros. I've heard of a lot of terminology. I want to hear from someone who can break it down for me in simple terms so that we can learn. All right. Okay, so welcome, Candice.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Can you please tell my followers who you are, a little bit about yourself before we get into the meal prepping?
Sure. I go by many names. My birth name or my slave name is Candice Malander, but my stage name is Can Skylark. I am a singer, songwriter, graphic designer, psychology major as well, and I'm a life coach as well as a performance coach. So that's kind of me in a nutshell, I think.
Wow, slash. You have a big, a great stage presence. You have a knowledge base in terms of psychology. You work with clients on a personal level. How does meal prepping work for you? Why did you start meal prepping?
Okay, well, number 1, I needed to become more aware of my nutrition, because having a lifestyle such as mine, I'm on the go all the time.
Yeah.
And it's jumping from one client to the next, it's being on stage, it's then getting into a conference call with, clients abroad, whatever the case may be. So my time has never really been my own.
Okay.
And with being on stage as well, there's a certain type of nutrition that you do have to be mindful of, because you have to be able to perform, and you have to be able to not sound like you're huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people misunderstand this, but you cannot out-train a bad diet.
Yeah.
That's just, my trainer said it to me one time. She's like, you cannot out-train a bad diet. So one thing she made me aware of is becoming more conscious about the things that I eat.
Okay.
Because 90% of your gym routine comes down to food.
Yes.
And they say that abs are built in the kitchen.
Yes.
Girl, it's absolutely
that 80-20.
80-20.
Sorry,
no, please, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Jump right in.
80% starts in the kitchen, and 20% is what you do in the gym.
My point. Because if you think about it logically, you spend about, at max, an hour in the gym.
Yes.
Right? The rest of the time, you're working, you're eating, unconsciously eating as well. You're grabbing something here, you're going there, you're doing this and whatever. And because your tummy's not telling you that you're hungry, because the ghrelin is starting to develop inside of you, you're like, oh my God, I'm hungry. And then you grab the next best thing, which is not always the best option. So for me, meal planning was about more than just the biggest reason, which is nutrition, but it was also about me just grabbing the right thing.
Okay.
Between clients.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I get you. Okay. But I did the self-sabotage where I was working out. I would be in the gym. I'm that girl. I was there 3-4 times a week. And then I would go to McDonald's.
Because we deserve it.
Because we work so hard for it.
We did like an hour on the treadmill,
I mean,
sis.
like really, like
dude, why not?
A meal.
Big Macs don't do nothing.
Milkshake. Yeah, that's how I self-sabotage myself. Like
I did the same. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then you feel so bad after that, like Big Mac. You're like,
and it's greasy and you feel gross, but you do it again the next time.
You do it again the next time.
So okay. Where do I start with meal prepping? So if you could dumb it down for the beginners.
So the knowledge that I have is based on the opinions that I formed and the things that work for me, right? First and foremost, meal prepping sometimes happens along the journey, a little bit further into the journey than right at the beginning, right? Some people that are brave enough started right out the gate, which is cool. But for me, it started a little bit later. I started gymming first. I got my head into the game first. I started losing the weight here first. And then I started like thinking about nutrition. The more my trainer started speaking about it, the more conscious I became of the fact that like you need to be mindful of what you're eating. So number one, to not buy into the inaccurate, the inconclusive fitness propaganda. And what I mean by that is that everybody is different. Your genetic makeup is not the same as mine. So you have to understand that not everything is going to work for you. So out the gate, understand that the fitness propaganda out there, like you have to do 20 push-ups, you have to do this, you have to do that, doesn't work for everybody. So it's the same with food. Like I may have an allergy to beans. I don't know. You may not, and that might work for you. So it comes down to what actually works for you, right? And then secondly, I would think that understand why you are meal prepping. Understand why you want to do it. If it is for weight loss, then research the foods that is going to help you burn fat. If it is for maintenance of the weight that you are currently at and the centimeters that you're currently at, then that's your reason. Right? For me, it was saving time, spending time with myself, and it was also about getting the ideal nutrition that could be absorbed into my bloodstream and go to all the other places that I needed to go to quicker. You know, I needed to do that for me. So at the start is always the hardest part. And I mean, I say that through every other aspect. You know, I make mention of that specific point through every other aspect. The start is always the hardest part.
And once you've decided, like you said, you started here. That's how it was with me with working out, because I decided before, when I was pregnant with my daughter, actually post-pregnancy, I was on maternity leave, and I saw all these images, and in my mind I already decided after I'm done with this post-pregnancy and I wanted to snatch back and bring my body back to what it was before, but it wasn't so easy. What is important for me and other viewers to know about meal prepping? A misconception that I kind of have to just, demyth is that people feel, or they look at the end product and they see, oh, this pretty packaged meal and it looks good, it looks colorful, it looks amazing. It's simple, but it's not easy. I'm just going to be honest and say that it's simple, but not easy. But it's the same concept with everything in life. Let's start over. If you prioritize something, then that thing is important in your life, right? So it's the same with meal prepping. It's like, it's simple, but it's not always easy because you have to integrate it into your life. You have to make it part of your life. You have to make it part of your lifestyle, just like you do with the gym. And I do with gym too. It becomes part of my life. It's on my to-do list. It's like picking up the kids, then working, and gym. It's the same with meal prep. So, for example, Sundays would be my day when I prep because then I spend time with myself. I cranked up some music, and that's just like, I look at it as me time. You're in your zone.
You know what I mean? And I'm cooking it, which is something that I like doing as well, because for me, cooking is also like therapy in a way. So that's one thing to know. And then secondly, there's no one size fits all cookie cutter kind of approach. You can't have going into this, you can't be thinking like that. Again, like I spoke about with point number one, that you have to ascertain your goals.
Okay.
You have to understand what it is that you want.
Yes.
And when you have that objective down,
Yeah.
then it trickles down, because then when you have the overarching goal, everything else then falls into place. It's like, okay, so if that's the goal, then I need to eat these foods. If that's the goal, I need to eat less of that, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah. So for me, as an example, my goal is to have fat loss in the stubborn areas, right? Like the belly and the cellulite areas, like I mentioned. So that is my goal, but it's different for everybody. Some person, like you said before, might want to be maintaining their goal, their weight, or someone might want to be shredding, like really ripping, getting those defined lines and things like that. So it's different for everybody.
Correct. It definitely is. And for women, listen, I'm just gonna be that person to play it on the real. For girls, it's harder. It is harder, because boys, you got testosterone. So if that works for you, you know what I'm saying? But we have a small percentage of testosterone, so which means then our hormones play into our weight loss and into our goals as well. Okay. So we have to be so considerate of that time of the month, when we've had kids, when we reach a certain age. Hormones are a thing. So there are ways that we can also ascertain which hormone type works for us, and there are calculators that you can obviously research online, which tells you, or that basically makes you understand what hormone type is yours, and what kinds of foods would work for you if your goal would be to lose weight. Okay. And sometimes what happens is, well, not sometimes, this is what happens, it's just our genetic makeup as girls. When we reach a certain age, we don't burn fat as fast as we did before. It's just inevitable. That's what it's going to be. Okay. So we need to always be switching things up. So the one place that we need to start considering where we're going to switch things up is in the kitchen. Okay. Because then we need to make our metabolism start. We need to make our metabolism boom. Yes. Right? Because now that's not something that naturally happens after a certain age. Okay. You know, it slows down.
Yeah. Okay. So 2 things. I blame Eve.
You know.
Yes.
Listen, I got a number. We could be like
I think we need to go.
We go get down
after this.
Girl.
Yeah.
Sorry, we didn't say that online. No. Eve, we love.
Jeremy actually mentions this. He says thermic effect of food is how your body burns the calories that you're consuming.
Right.
So whatever you're consuming needs to burn fast enough so that it doesn't sit in your system. So that's basically what you were referring to, right?
Yes. Okay. It's this hormone called lipase. Okay. Lipase is a hormone that sits inside of a fat cell, right? So you get these triggers that like help trigger lipase. For example, intermittent fasting does that. Sometimes, exercise does that as well. The inhibition of or inhibited insulin, those kinds of things. Because insulin in the fat cells, obviously that's sugar, so which means your body stores sugar through fat. Stores fat through the sugars you eat. So basically what you need to do is you have to be mindful of increasing your activity and kind of moving into more of a caloric deficit. And what I mean by that is that your activity level has to raise and your intake level of calories has to kind of drop. Okay. Not to the point where you're starving yourself, because we are not doing that. We never starve ourselves. We don't do that.
No. Is that calorie deficit?
Yes. Okay. That's a calorie deficit.
See, your girl knows. I know some stuff. I know some stuff.
You're learning, sis.
Okay, cool.
So I want to just add one more thing there, that consistency creates habits, guys. That's just the thing. So here's the thing. I'm not going to go to a doctor, a self-proclaimed doctor, a neurosurgeon, to do an operation on my brain. No. I'm going to look for the trained professional to do that. So it's the same with your fitness and your nutrition. Somebody that's been doing it for a long time and that has been consistent on the journey would have more experience as to how this works. Yes. So the only way that you're going to see the goals and you're going to achieve the goals that you're looking to achieve is through consistency. So now, for example, we think we've done this for 2 months. We've we've arrived.
Yeah.
Guys, we don't got it.
Yeah, we keep going.
We keep going. We don't got it. We just got to keep going. So consistency creates a habit, which then ultimately becomes part of who you are. Yeah.